Hello and welcome to today's live Q&A. I'm Katie Keith, founder and CEO at Barn2.
And I'm Sam, and I handle all the video and other marketing tasks here at Barn2, including this live stream, which has quite a few people signed up today. So hopefully we see you guys live in the stream today. Be sure to check in and leave us a comment wherever you're watching from. And maybe you can even let us know what platform you're watching on, because we stream to YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and also StreamYard itself. So it's nice to hear where you guys are listening from. And of course, which country you're from, because that's always interesting too. Like to know how many people around the world we have. If you submitted a question before the live stream, we will be getting to answering that throughout the show as soon as we can, of course. And if you are just watching this live and you didn't submit a question, that's totally fine. You can watch through and leave us a live question, and we love to answer your questions live on the air as well. So that's how this format works. We're going to jump into some company news next.
Yeah, well, we've got some hellos, so let's start with that. So we've got Vince in Naples. Hey, Vince. And we've got Mike, who's using StreamYard directly and in the USA. So that's already very far away places that we've got people.
Nice.
Good to see you here.
I see Vince was a registrant, so he's already got his question in the show. So we'll get to that when we get to the product options plugin, Vince, okay?
Excellent. So not too much company news today. The first thing is that we are hiring. We're looking for a marketing specialist to do a range of hands-on marketing tasks, like making changes to blog posts, handling our email newsletter, those kinds of day-to-day marketing things, social media posts, for quite a wide range of marketing tasks. So if you know anybody, please spread the word. Closing date is next Friday, so we've got another 8 days. Our first Shopify app is launching tomorrow. So we've always been a WordPress and WooCommerce plugin company for the last 9 years. And now we're launching into the Shopify space as well. So if you work on Shopify or know anybody who has a Shopify store, please spread the word and help to make our new app a success. We're looking for people to test it and give us feedback and hopefully leave a review, which will help more people to discover it. We've just done a big update of our WooCommerce Product Filters plugin, version 2.0, which is, it kind of still looks the same, but it's very different behind the scenes. It works much better with different page builders and themes and things like that. So it's quite a big technical update. So if you're using WooCommerce Product Filters, then make sure you back up and then update as usual.
Katie,
you can watch.
Katie, I know you said I didn't need to make a video about it, but I decided to remake a video from 2.5 years ago where I listed the top filter plugins online, and I thought it was due for an update. So that's what I'm working on now.
Yeah, that's the thing with videos. They need redoing regardless of whether anything's changed, don't they? Have you got a caption for my WordCamp US talk? Because I see it in the show notes, but not the captions.
Oh, I didn't put a caption because I didn't know if you wanted to put that big link in there. I thought you might want to link through to the events page, maybe. We could.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, we got our events page.
I thought I had it somewhere. Hang on, it should be.
Anyway, I'll just talk. So I attended WordCamp US in Portland, Oregon a few weeks ago, and I did a talk called What the Top WordPress Product Companies Do Differently. It was a 90-minute masterclass, and we covered all sorts of things to do with selling WordPress products and analyzing the best companies in the space and what they do. So if you go to our events page, that's easier than typing in a link. It's also on wordpress.tv, so that's where our events page will link you to. So if you want to watch my talk, it was just published a few days ago, and you can do that there. I think that is all the company news. So, Sam, should we move on to the general questions?
We can, but I just saw we had 3 or 4 more people give us a nice comment of where they're watching from. So I'm just going to pop those up real quick. Mike is watching us on StreamYard from the good old US of A. Howdy. Oh, and that was the same one. Sorry. There we go. Vince says, awesome. We'll get to his question soon. William, using StreamYard from Ireland. And Jeff joining from Nigeria. We have Co from Canada. That's where I was brought up. And oh, yes. And Mike, it was great
Oh, yeah.
seeing Katie at WordCamp US. We met briefly in the hotel lobby. Do you remember that,
Yeah.
Katie?
Yes.
Nice.
Hey,
Oh,
Mike,
very
good
cool.
to see you. Well, not see you. I can't see your comment. Yeah.
I'm really loving how lively the discussion is today. So keep the comments coming, guys. But we are going to get into the first questions for the day. So I'll bring up the first general question. Is the published price annual? And that would be in particular for WooCommerce Product Options. Now, Carlos wrote the question in Spanish, so I don't know if he understands my answer being in English, but we do publish annual prices as the main price you see on our website plugin pages. So if you go to any of the product pages, like where we sell our plugins on our website, you'll see an annual price there. There are options sometimes for lifetime or for multiple sites, but that most of the prices you see will just be annual prices, and that includes things like high quality support as well as all the updates and everything like that. All right, Marcus asked.
What about compatibility with themes such as Avada and plugins such as WPML? Is greater integration and security being sought here? Well, that's an ongoing thing. So we test with all the major themes, and about once a year we audit what the top however many themes that our customers are using are, and we make sure that we always test with those. But our plugins are all designed to work with all themes unless there's a very specific problem that we've documented in our knowledge base, which is rare. If a theme has coded something really badly, then there's nothing we can do about it. We will document that, but they're always designed to work with all themes. And in terms of WPML, we do add compatibility for our plugins in WPML, and we work with them to make that as easy as possible. WPML is a multilingual plugin. It's not the most easy to use. I would recommend a front-end translation plugin such as Weglot or TranslatePress if you are still choosing your multilingual plugin, because there is no compatibility to worry about. It just works with every plugin you've got. But WPML does require integrations, and we do try to do that. Just wouldn't be my recommendation if you still have a choice.
I'll let you in on a secret. I did a pricing analysis of the top translating plugins last year on the channel, and TranslatePress was the cheapest for budget, budget users. Weglot has a very different pricing model, and they're more for larger sites. But WPML had a very similar offering to TranslatePress in terms of AI translations and stuff, but they were more expensive for the same thing, basically.
Yeah, and TranslatePress is much easier to use and just works with everything. Yeah, there's our recommendations, but we do add WPML compatibility because it's super popular and a lot of people use it, so that's really important. Now, we've got two people, Sam, who need to leave by the half hour. So we don't need to do them right this second, but we might need to restructure a bit to get to, I think it was Mike and Vince.
Vince's question is in the next plugin we're going to jump into almost right away. And we'll check about the other one as well, and we'll do that next after him.
Okay.
Zoe asked a kind of cryptic question. How do I download the WooCommerce private login? So this could mean a few things. We have several privacy plugins, including WooCommerce protected categories, WooCommerce private store, and password protected categories, which is more generally for WordPress. And if the question is, how do you download the plugin? The answer is you go to our website and you buy a copy, and then the download will happen through the purchase. The other way to answer this question is we need more information in order to get a proper answer for you, Zoe. So yeah, apologies, we can't be more specific, but if you just want one of our plugins, go to our website, find the plugin you need, and go through the steps to purchase it. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into our first plugin. we've got WooCommerce Product Options. I have a demo, but I just need to present. I click the old present, share screen. That's the one. I need this window. Perfect. All right. So WooCommerce Product Options is one of our flagship plugins that changes product pages fundamentally in the way that they display variations and options for different products. So what we're talking about here is, instead of having generic dropdowns that are not user-friendly and not very nicely designed, and changing them into things like radio buttons or image buttons, or even text inputs where you can write things like "Happy Birthday, Mum," or something like that. And then there are also things like upsells. You can put actual products into other product pages, not just as the upsells that you see with the related products, but actually as part of the purchase. So people can bundle items together without actually having to leave this particular product page. And this is just 3 or 4 things that this plugin does. There are 16 different option types, including things like pricing calculator and other popular features like that. I'm going to do a truncated, sort of shorter intro today so we can get straight into the questions. Let's go into the question from Vince now.
Okay, so Vince says, I use product options pricing formula to calculate a product variable price based upon its weight and a daily market value. The product is set to 0 for this, but my client wants the price range to be displayed. Is this possible? So yeah, what this means is that with product variations, normally WooCommerce itself will display the price of the lowest and the highest variation as a range at the top of the product page. But in Vince's case, he has set the price to 0 because the price formula in our plugin is setting that. So the variations are all 0, and the weight is being used as a variable in the price formula, along with what is presumably hard coded as a daily market value, which they must go into the price formula and edit every day. And that would push through to all of the products. So the problem with that is that that's not the variation price. Therefore, WooCommerce is not displaying that at the top of the product page. And my only way of doing that would be custom code. It's not super complicated, but you would need to do some custom code to replace the usual variation range where it says 0 up here and price per square meter on Sam's screen. We need to dynamically change that with the correct range, and that would need a little bit of coding because the range changes every day based on the daily market value, presumably. So whoever codes that is going to need to use that as a variable in what's displayed on the product page. It's not that much work for an experienced developer, and since that's not what the plugin is designed to do, integrate with daily market values, we wouldn't do that under our support, but we do have a customization service. So if you want to get in touch, we'd be happy to send you a quote. And like I said, it's not a big job. It just is a custom coding job.
Mm-hmm. And just while we're talking about the price formula, if you haven't checked this out yet, we have a price formula bot, which uses an LLM to synthesize your request into a formula. So it makes it easier to write mathematical formulas for you, basically. And if you go to our knowledge base price formula bot, you can use it if you have a valid license key for the plugin. All right. Cool, Vince. I hope that answers your question. Unfortunately, it is a custom job, but yeah, this is what I wanted. Raymond also left a bit of a cryptic question for me. Product designer, ease of use. So I wanted to show off the back end of the plugin for a minute. So if you're talking about, this could mean a few things, but I just wanted to give a quick look at the back end of the plugin. So we start with option groups. And if you choose an option group to edit or create a new one, you can see all of the different options that will be added to this product by the plugin. And you can go into each of these. You can choose the type. You can set up things like the colors for the color swatches. You can set up the pricing. You can make it a required field. And you can even do some advanced conditional logic, which will show or hide these colors if some other condition is met or not met. So that's just a little quick look at the back end of the plugin and how easy it is to set this up. You basically just have to fill in the blanks with whatever you want it to be, choose a few options, and this will automatically be added to the product. But if you're talking about the product designer in the sense of live preview, like being able to show like on a t-shirt design, we can go back to the demo for this plugin and I can show you the custom printed hoodie, for example. And it's a matter of adding things like a design, like an image. This is a good question. Oh, we could even use today's
Normally
thumbnail.
it's me that has to find something suitable at last minute in my downloads folder. So let's see what is in Sam's download folder today.
It's today's thumbnail. That's what it is.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah, ask Barn2 anything. So today's thumbnail. So this could be added here, and you can see that there are some, sort of customization options. You can resize it, move it around. You can even make it squish it down if you want to. And then also in terms of text, so we have like, I just made it caps lock. Here we go. Typing on screen is my nightmare. Okay, let's do Barn2 Plugins. How about that? And that will we can customize
click out
that
of
already.
It. Click out of it and it'll
oh
open.
yeah, there we go. I just made a video about this, so yeah. So then this is a matter of just normal text customization. So I can change this text to white. I can make it bold, center it up. I can, make it larger. So let's get rid of that and let's put the image back in there. There we go. So that's the basic use of the customization. And obviously the vendor has a lot of control over what types of customization you're allowing. So if you don't want them to be able to rotate photos, then you can disable that. If you don't want them to be able to resize photos, you can disable that. So basically you can make it, for lack of a better word, idiot proof, so that people don't give you products that look like this when they try to buy it, by accident. And then you have to figure out what they meant, So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Raymond. And I think we can move on to the next one. Allison wants to know, can I use WooCommerce Product Options to increase the shipping cost in my price formula based on the options that are selected? Well, this is an interesting question. So the short answer is no, but you can achieve a similar result by just adding extra shipping fees into the price formula or into the individual product options, sort of on the product page. So rather than adding it as a shipping cost separately within WooCommerce, you're just adding it as a fee before checkout for that item. I know it's not like the most, let's say, fluid answer, like the most elegant solution, but it is possible, obviously, in many different ways to use our plugin to add an upcharge or some kind of fee to different options. And Katie, can you confirm for me if they were adding like a $2 charge for yellow and a $2 charge for blue and a $5 charge for red? Would the formula then be able to take that $5 charge and not change it at all? Or would it change that $5?
That would become baked into the price of that product. So the price formula increases it based on the options selected, and then they add it to the cart and that remains the price. If you have a standard shipping charge on the checkout, that is a separate thing. So this is an extra shipping charge that is specific to that option that you have chosen because of extra packaging needs or whatever.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, basically what we're trying to say is that our plugin doesn't talk to the shipping side of WooCommerce specifically. So if you were to set up shipping in a very particular way where it pulls the weight of each product and adds it all together or something like that, I'm not sure if that would work very well. I apologize if you can hear the dogs outside my window. They're having some kind of fight out there, but if you can't hear it, that's
Yeah, I
better.
can hear them.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So the short answer is no, but yes, you can do something else, which is going to give you, ultimately is going to allow you to add those prices in yourself, but it won't show up as a shipping fee. It'll show up as an additional fee on the product. All right. And the next question is for Katie.
Okay, so Lee is looking for a WordPress plugin for a plaque business. Needs the ability for users to enter text on the plaque, resize the plaque image, and select color variations. When they resize the plaque, they will be able to place their order with the size information within the order. We would also need a live preview as the customer is filling out their information. Well, I think we can answer this quickly because, yes, you can do that exactly as Sam has already shown us on the hoodie, but just with text. So your product image is the plaque, and then the text that they enter will be superimposed on that. If it's color variations, that can either be choosing a text color, or if the plaques are available in, say, gold, silver, bronze, black, that kind of thing, then you would add those as product variations, each with a different plaque image. So Sam, can you change the color of this variation? So not within the preview, but for the product. So choose a different color hoodie. And so you see, like, that could be a different color plaque, and then the preview would appear on that instead.
Different color and different size as well.
Yeah, any options that you want. So this worked with product variations for doing that kind of thing. So yeah, it does everything that Lee has described, including pushing that through to the order, so that that image will be sent through to the store owner so that they can see what the customer wanted and the sizing and so on. Okay, so before we move on from this plugin, I think we've got one or more live questions about it.
Sure.
So just going through the ones I've starred. This one's a tricky one. I'm going to interpret it as a product options question because I think that might be the best solution, but it isn't necessarily. So Sean says, I have a question. I'm already trying to find a plugin where you can build a package together with steps 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're at a step, you can choose more than one option instead of only blue, large, etc. And the next step feels, as the next step, it feels like there's no plugins providing this. So I think he's referring to the limitations of product variations. If you've got normal variable products, which you can actually see in this hoodie, it's got a color and a size variation, you can only choose one. And that is how WooCommerce variations work. But Sean wants to create a multi-step package in which they can select multiple options. So yeah, instead of using product variations, which have that limitation of one per attribute, you need to set up the options directly in our WooCommerce Product Options plugin. And that way you can set your own maximum quantities or have no maximum quantities. There are various multi-select option types in our plugin. So you've got checkboxes, you've got like text clouds, or like a tag cloud type thing. You've got clickable images, and you've got color swatches. So you've got a bit of flexibility there instead of using variations. And in terms of the step,
what I would suggest for the steps, if you wanted to do it on multiple pages, you can't quite do that with ours. But you can use conditional logic. So after a step is complete, the next step will appear, and that will allow further customization. But they won't see all of the steps at once. You'll show them the first step, they'll choose something, then you'll show them the next step, they can choose more things, and then you'll show them the final or next steps after that.
Yeah. And that's a nice way of not cluttering up the product page because you haven't got too much visible. But in case you do want them all visible, Sam, can you go to the computer product on the front end of this demo? Where we've created a kind of multi-step product configurator for a build your own computer. Yeah, that one in the middle.
Yeah.
So here we've got 1, so that's step 1, choose your core component. Step 2, choose your storage, etc. So that you can have it all visible at the same time. And to do those steps, we used either the visual editor or the HTML. Yeah, there's 2 static options, basically,
Mhm.
where you can add text that is not an option in between
Yeah,
your
there's a
product
visual
options.
editor.
Yeah.
Let me add a new one and show what that looks like real quick. So we're going to add a visual editor here. And this is just like, oh, you need to hide the question real quick. Hide the current, hide the current, hide the current. Where is it? There we go. Now you can see. So down here, it's this custom box where you can write your text, and you can update the formatting, styling, and all that, just like in WordPress. So you could write your steps in here. Yeah, so step one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, and then you could change it to heading. You can make it bold. You can do all of your various things like that. You can add images too. So you can use some inspiration or give your customers some inspiration or something like that. Okay. So
Okay, right. Well, I think we need to speed up because we've got loads of questions. So I'm
yeah,
going to show another product options one now,
sure.
and then we'll move on to other plugins. Mike we've got 4 minutes before Mike leaves. Is it possible to use product options to create fixed bundles, such as a skincare bundle in original scent and another in fragrance free? The bundles would be sold at a discount, but the individual products should remain visible to both the shipping team and the customer so they can see what they will receive. The inventory status of each product in the bundle would need to be updated as the bundles are sold. Oh, that is tricky, because to create a fixed bundle, you wouldn't use the products option in our plugin, which allows you to display other products on the product page and therefore use inventory. So it's kind of either or with our plugin. If you create
Is there a feature or option where you can click a link and that automatically will add 3 or 4 items to the cart as a bundle or something, or no?
Not in our plugin. There are
No.
extensions that do that, such as WooCommerce chained products. So you could,
Mhm.
for example, use WooCommerce product options to display the bundle options, if you like that way of displaying it. And then the way the chained products extension works, which you can get on woocommerce.com, is that when you add a certain product to the cart, like the bundle, it will automatically add other products to the cart. Now, you could use your main product, which has the product options on, as your core product, which has a price. So the product options would each have, like, the original scent option would have one price, fragrance free would have a different one, and then chain product would add actual other products to the price in the background. That would be one option. I don't know if that's perfect, but at least you would get the best of both worlds then, including the inventory.
Mhm.
And there's another plugin called Force Cells, which with chained products, you can remove them from the cart. And with Force Cells, you can't. You are forced to buy them if you were going to complete your order.
Mhm. Well, like you said, we got to keep going. Did you say that was that for Mike, right? Okay.
That was
Mike, I
from
hope
Mike. And
I hope we managed to answer your question before you had to leave. I'm sorry about that. If we didn't get through everything, but wow, there's there's a lot of comments. Should we just go through all the starred ones real quick?
let's
I'll
go
hide this
through
so
some
we
quick
can.
ones. So
Yeah.
got one from Vince, who says these webinars are great and a perfect example that other companies should follow. Thank you so much. So thank you for your feedback. We're just choosing which one. Right. Ian from Kestrel says, can we see the dog, Sam?
Short answer, no, because they're not my dogs. They're neighborhood dogs. Apparently, a lot of people in Poland have dogs. It's one of the highest dog ownership countries in all of Europe.
Even in the city. Okay.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Do you want to answer this one, or is that?
Yeah. So Arpad says, I'm a plugin developer. I sell premium plugins. What service do you use to serve license keys and updates to the plugins that you sell? We use Easy Digital Downloads. You
Mhm.
can also do it with WooCommerce and their software licensing extension. Or if you're just getting started, I would probably recommend Freemius, because they just handle everything for you. And so you don't have to mess around with setting up your own website. You can focus on making your business a success. So if I was just starting and didn't know if we'd be successful, I would probably use Freemius, but we use EDD, Easy Digital Downloads.
Mhm. I'll let you pick the next one, Katie.
Okay, a quick one from Rory. Just discovered and bought your plugins. Wow, you've saved me a lot of time. Thanks. Looks great. And he is in the car in a field in Cheshire. Sounds interesting.
So Cheshire, not Cheshire. Cheshire.
Cheshire. Or
Cheshire.
maybe a UK accent thing. Yeah, no, surely it's Cheshire. I think everybody in the
Surely.
UK would say that.
Yeah.
It's like Devonshire, Yorkshire. It's always shire, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like
Ones
Co's
that aren't
question.
about. Okay, so do you think Amazon will move forward towards quick commerce? It's not really about WordPress. I think the most interesting thing to watch is the AI commerce side of things and whether e-commerce sites will be integrating with AI, because I've started hearing more about that. But users expect more and more convenience, don't they? So I think everybody needs to go that way, and Amazon leads the way.
Custom landing pages with AI is a really interesting opportunity, I think I've seen.
Another Amazon one, sort of. So Jeff asks, so many people use WordPress for their Amazon affiliate programs. Has your company considered developing a WordPress Amazon affiliate plugin to support these users? The answer is no, because I haven't seen a gap. So there are various WordPress Amazon affiliate plugins, including ones that integrate with WooCommerce, so you can create the products in WooCommerce, maybe display them using our plugins in a table or something like that, but then the actual add to cart button goes through to Amazon instead. So I haven't seen a gap with that, which is why we haven't considered that. I also think the affiliate market is in trouble at the moment a bit because of AI, basically, that AI is recommending products rather than affiliate sites. And so my friends who I know that have affiliate companies are seeing a decline in their revenue because they're dependent on people visiting their site and clicking affiliate links, and the AI is shortcutting that, basically bypassing it, whereas product companies like ourselves aren't seeing a decline because the AIs are recommending our products. So I don't mind if they go to our website until the time of purchase.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Okay, I think that is all of the questions that are not about a specific plugin. So we've got 3 more. Oh, okay. Ian is saying that Force Cells is a Kestrel plugin. I didn't even know that. I thought it was WooCommerce.com.
Oh.
Okay, so go and buy that then. And Ian says, Sam Altman keeps posting pics of his ChatGPT settings with orders in the sidebar. Oh, I haven't seen that. But yeah, that's the way things are going, and we need to stay abreast of it.
Wow. Are you jumping into the specific questions for plugins now?
Let's go back to the original plan, and we will incorporate questions in as we get to those plugins.
Yeah, I think in the spirit of brevity, let's jump straight into this comment/question that was left in the registration, and because it actually talks about 3 different plugins. So Rashid says, I'm interested in product options, WooCommerce Discount Manager, bulk variations, and maybe a few others. I don't know. The issue I want to discuss, why is it not calculating the discount live? So this is also needs a bit more clarification. And if it's a genuine question about the plugin that you already have on your site, then you should go through support and get this solved for yourself. But do you have any perceptions about what this might be?
I do know the answer, which is not good, unfortunately. So this demo page shows several of our plugins being used together. We've got the key ones here are WooCommerce bulk variations, which has created this grid of variations. So it's like a 1-page order form. Instead of having to select from the drop down many times, you just order as many variations as you want straight away. And we're using WooCommerce Discount Manager, which allows you to set different types of discounts. And the problem we're talking about is that it doesn't display those discounts here on this page. And that is a fairly fundamental limitation of how our 2 plugins work together, which we're aware of. And it's going to be really complicated to fix. We haven't quite figured it out. So the reason it doesn't work is because the quantity-based discounts in WooCommerce Discount Manager take place on the cart page. And that's fine. Normally, people buy discounted products from the product page. So they're not seeing multiple products all at once. And they click through to the cart, and that shows them the discounted price. But the use case with bulk variations is a bit different, because you want to see what you're saving as you select all these variations. And it's showing the total price without discount, because the discount hasn't been calculated yet. So it would require quite a major logic rewrite of our discount manager plugin in order for that to work. So the only type of discount that will work directly in the variations grid is what we call simple discount, which is where you add a fixed either percentage or amount discount. So if we used it to say, make this red small variation $10, and that would appear crossed out in the grid and would work immediately, because simple discounts are calculated on the product page. Unfortunately, quantity discounts are not. So I don't have a solution to that. I hope we will one day, but we don't know how, because it would be a total rewrite. So I'm sorry about that. Actually, my recommendation would be to clearly display the information about your discounts above or below the bulk variations grid. So you can say you'll get your discount on the cart, and then on the cart, it's really clear. You can even add extra text above the cart if you want to reassure them. So that's my workaround, but I accept it's not ideal. Sorry, Sam.
No, fair enough. I was just wondering if there was any way to manipulate the price display with some kind of formula that you could set up, but that would require something we don't currently have. So yeah, my mind is just trying to think of solutions.
I'm wondering whether to get one of our developers to do it as a code snippet or something and publish it on our knowledge base, so it wouldn't integrate with Discount Manager at all. They would need to put the same discounts in the code snippet, which is clumsy but would do the job, wouldn't it?
Yeah, fair enough. All right. I'm ready to jump into the next plugin then, unless you wanted to see any comments.
So do we have any live comments about that specific,
bulk
any of
product
those
plugin?
plugins?
Is that it? Rao Jamil?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, we're both doing it at once. So that I'm a developer and recommend your plugins. I have an issue. This is related to bulk product plugin. Want to create bundle products, and products in that bundle are variable products. I tried many with combination, but bulk product plugin not work there. There are a simple drop down for selecting color and size. Is there an option? I'm not entirely clear. So
can I just say something quickly? In our plugin, this plugin that you're looking at right now, bulk variations, there are options in the back end of the plugin on the settings page to show more than like 3 or more variations in the bulk variations grid. So the default option is just to show 2, one across the top and one across the side. So you've got your size, your color, right? But then, yeah, Katie is showing us an example of what it looks like to have more variations within the grid. They are standard drop down, because that's just the most usable way of adding those variations in. But yeah, you can show 4 variations within one grid. Can you show more or just 4? I think it's just 4. I think it says 3 or 4 in the setting. Yeah. So let's go back to the question after having said that. So we want to create bundle products, and products in that bundle are variable products.
Oh, he simplified it. So he says, will the bulk product table plugin, I think we're on the wrong plugin possibly, work in bundle products? I'm offering a bundle including 2 t-shirts, 5 hoodies. So is there any option I can do this with any Barn2 plugin? So we might be talking about product table.
No, yeah, that's fair enough.
Which is like bulk variations, but it lists multiple products in the table at once. So with bundles, I would generally recommend creating the bundles in our plugin. I'm going to go to a different demo page. So with this one, we've kind of done a build your own gift basket thing where you kind of build a bundle, but we're not using the product bundles extension. We're just using WooCommerce Product Table. So you choose a box, add it to your cart, you stay on the page, and then you choose the contents, and you can use it with other Barn2 plugins such as WooCommerce Quantity Manager to control how many of each category people can add to their cart. So that way they're building their own custom bundle. Now, if you want to use WooCommerce Product Table with the official product bundles extension, then it basically just displays the top level bundled products in the table, which isn't much use, to be honest. There isn't really any benefit. So I'd say it's an alternative. Please follow up if you've got any more. Oh, he's provided a link.
I can't copy it. Do you know how to copy it? I can't.
No.
So yeah, I can't. Well, you can get the
Homefront-
URL.
Yeah.
Homefront signs. That's a nice URL.
/ product page / I'm gonna have to go do that in 2 stages.
Unique unique deal
/
one.
How do you spell that? UNEEK deal one. Fine. Deal one. Oh, it didn't work. What have I done wrong? This page will clear up his question, right? So I need to make it work.
Do you have homefrontsigns.co.uk?
I do now. Right. So am I sharing this tab? I am, aren't
Yeah,
I?
yeah, I see it. I see it.
Okay, so we've got a product page. It says select variations. So I'm going to click on that and nothing happens. That doesn't work on my computer. The select variations button. What should it do?
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. It's in the, he's just showing like what the product should be, but he hasn't finished building it yet.
But we need to know what he wants it to do that's different to what it currently does.
Well, the visual, the image shows like, you get this plus this plus this plus this, and you can choose the color of each one. So it might not necessarily be all black items. It might be a red hoodie and a blue t-shirt and a white hat, and that's where the bundling side of things come in. But yeah, using even just basic variations or using our product options plugin, of course, plus the product table like you showed could be a way to do that. And you can put product tables on product pages. So somebody could go to this page and they could go through the steps. But yeah.
Oh, he says
by
scroll
using
down.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Scroll
okay.
down.
Oh, it's down there. So it just needed to jump. So we've got swatches basically. So you can select different color swatches, and that's how you build your bundle, I suppose. I think our product table would be a replacement of this. So each product would appear as a row in the table. You can make the image bigger if you want. And probably use it with WooCommerce Product Options. So the by column of WooCommerce Product Table can display product options. So each product is one row, and each row has a by column with the different swatches that we see here. So the layout would be different because it's a table. But if that's more what he's looking for, then it would work that way by combining those 2 plugins.
Yeah, you don't think there's too many? You don't think there's too many colors for them to be all displayed in the table?
Okay, fine. Use 3 of our plugins. Also add WooCommerce Quick View Pro, so that instead of having a by column, you could have a quick view column, and that would open them in a light box. So you can add each one to the cart from there. So yeah, you don't want to display loads and loads, but then you could just use a drop down. And our drop downs now support images. So they're not just the name of each color. It could be the picture of the yellow jumper, and then the word yellow in a drop down, and so on. And then that would fit nicely within the table. So there's various ways you could do it. So you do that with WooCommerce Product Options, the drop down.
Yeah, interesting. It would be difficult if they were trying to get, like, for example, if somebody wants to buy 2 of these sweatshirts but in different colors, so like one white and one yellow, then you'd have to go through, pick them one by one or something. Yeah. It's an
Yeah,
interesting use
you
case.
kind of have to, because the
Yeah.
cart needs to know how the size relates to the color. You can't select yellow and white and then small
Yeah.
and medium, because you don't know which is which. So I think that's fairly fundamental that you add them separately.
Yeah. Alrighty. Tough one. Tough one. It is an interesting use case for sure. Yeah. Do you want
Okay,
to?
well, let's keep going then.
Sure.
And
I'll put mine up now, and we'll just talk
yeah.
very quickly about Document Library Pro. So this is unrelated to e-commerce. This is a popular plugin of ours for listing documents, PDFs, resources, meeting notes, links to other external resources, videos, audio files, and everything on your site. You can list things in this kind of nice table layout, or you can use a grid layout like this, which also looks really good. And there's also a folder view for sorting and nicely packing everything into folders which resemble a computer folders. And you can use either a table layout or a grid layout once the folder is expanded, like it shows here. There are many different columns you can add, many different ways that you can add files, including CSV upload and things like that. And there's also, you can link out to external sites, or you can host the files on your site and have them all showing up there. Definitely one of our more popular plugins of all time, and has a lot of handy features like filters and search options. I wanted to get to this question from Ko real quickly. She needs the ability, I shouldn't really assume the gender, honestly, but they need the ability to search within PDF documents, and they suggest SearchWP as the plugin. Would it be integrated with the search function in the document library plugin?
So yes, that happens automatically, specifically if you use SearchWP, which we have integrated with. So as you can see on Sam's screen at the moment, the top right of the document library can have a keyword search box. And normally that will search, and depending on your settings, it will either search all the content in the table, or it will just search the title and the summary columns, whether or not they're visible. So that's how the logic works, and it's exact match. It is, if it has ebook, it wouldn't have e-space book, for example. It's exact. So if you want more sophisticated search logic, or the ability to search within the documents that are linked to from the document library, then you can use the SearchWP plugin, which I think is searchwp.com. And that we have integrated with that. So long as you've set that up, it will automatically power the document library search with your SearchWP powered search box. So it looks the same, it's just that it will then search within the contents of documents.
Okay. We also had a pre-submitted question about Document Library Pro, and this is from William. Although this may be related to Post Table Pro as well. That's just something that could be the case. So William says, I'm looking for something similar to your document library, except instead of documents, I want to create a library of web links to items or topics online that I find interesting. Now, I would say we have, do we have a demo specific for that, or is that on Post Table Pro?
I think we should just imagine that any of the demos are,
Yeah.
so just go to the main homepage or whatever, that these are links that William wants to share instead of downloadable documents, for example. So with Document Library Pro, you don't actually have to upload a document that people can then download. You can add a link to a third-party website, and you can also change the buttons, so it doesn't have. So in our demo, the button's a download button. Instead, you would say visit link or whatever. You can have a text link which contains any text you want. So basically, when you add a document, instead of uploading a file, you choose the, I think it's called third-party URL or something option, and then you would just add the link. So you add your title, you add your description of the link, so that's why people should visit it, and you add the actual URL and the button will link to that. So what we see here doesn't have to be documents, it could be exactly what William has described. And Sam also mentioned our Post Table Pro plugin, which can do something very similar, but I'd recommend Document Library for this because it creates that post type for you to add the data. Yeah, it's called documents in the WordPress admin, but just think of it as links. It works just the same. Whereas with Post Table Pro, you would need to install a custom post type plugin and create a custom post type called links, which you then display in the table. So it's just easier to use Document Library Pro and ignore the word document.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. We can move on to the next plugin, or we can talk about Mark's question. I previously used your wholesale plugin. I need to remove and instead want to use the table plugin. There's a lot of old data in the database, for example, roles, pricing, etc. And I believe there's no cleanup when removing it. And this concerns me, as I believe plugins should always remove their data. Does your table plugin work the same way? Yeah. So in terms of removing data, do we have a policy about that or anything specific to our plugins?
Most of the time it's not needed. So in the table plugins, it's not really relevant because it's not storing any data directly in that way other than itself. But the wholesale plugin is creating roles and things like that. So that's a fair comment. And I've just written a note for myself to talk to the developer about that. I did notice one of our plugins, I forget which, we've recently added an uninstall option, so that on the settings page you can tick if you want the data removed. It shouldn't happen automatically because people uninstall plugins and then reinstall them and don't want to set them up again. So we should give people an option, but I think we should be doing that more, and that's a good example for wholesale where that would be relevant. So thanks for that.
Yeah, great comments. Okay, and
so I just moved to one from Raoul. Oh, we're doing the same thing again. He says, thank you for your answer. I'll be there with a clear question in the next session. Thank you. I would say don't wait a month. Contact our support@barn2.com, or just via the support center on our website. I suggest that you maybe tell them that we discussed this in the live stream so that my support team don't have to start from scratch and they can see what we've already discussed. So they will be able to help you just like we can. But I think you don't need to wait a month to get help on this.
Yeah, absolutely. We have one more plugin on the list with a pre-submitted question from Andre. So I'll just bring that up now, Katie, for you. So the question relates to our restaurant ordering plugin. I'd like to know, as I'd love to use your restaurant ordering plugin on my WordPress website through WooCommerce. Does your plugin maybe offer multi-vendor? I have the knowledge base page up if you need that, Katie. I can display that now.
I think let's show the plugin first,
yeah,
so
sure.
you can see what we're talking about. I'll do that fairly quickly. So this is our WooCommerce restaurant plugin, which restaurants use to take orders for food online, whether that's for collection or home delivery or whatever. So it displays your foods in a quick order form that's similar to something like Uber Eats, and you can have multiple categories. You can add options, choose options, add to the cart. Here we've used it with our WooCommerce Product Options plugin, so you can see us adding multiple toppings, and then you add to the cart. So it's a kind of Uber Eats-esque way of ordering food in WooCommerce. So let's move on to the answer, I'd like to know, as I'd love to use it through WooCommerce, does your plugin offer multi-vendor? So there's 3 ways that you can use WooCommerce restaurant ordering for multi-vendor. And that's a very common use case because restaurants often have one website with multiple locations or chains. So one of them is to create a WordPress multi-site, which is a default WordPress feature, which kind of connects multiple websites into one website. And if you did that, then you would have different products for each restaurant in your chain of restaurants, a different WordPress admin for each one. So they would basically operate completely independently from one another. That it's kind of more work because you've got to add all your products lots of times, but it also avoids any complexity like routing emails, order notification emails to the correct restaurant. That would just happen because it's got its own WordPress admin and you've set it up for that restaurant. Option 2 is create one website with an ordering page for each restaurant. So you'd probably use categories. So you'd have if you think about the WooCommerce category structure, you could have restaurant 1, and then you could have starters, mains, desserts, then a high-level category restaurant 2, starters, mains, desserts, etc. And then you would use the shortcodes in WooCommerce restaurant ordering to create a different ordering page for each restaurant. And we provided some tips on how to handle things like the order notification emails and so on. But I think what Andre is referring to is using a multi-vendor plugin, which is option 3, which we've told you in this knowledge base article, which can we put that on the screen, the link of it?
Yeah.
In the caption. So we've tested with specific ones because different multi-vendor plugins work in different ways. So we've said the ones that we've particularly tested with, but most of them will be fine. And that way the multi-vendor plugin handles things like routing the order to the correct place. So basically you're using our plugin to display the food order form, and the multi-vendor plugin handles everything else.
Nice one. As far as I'm aware, we've gone through the pre-submitted questions for today. And just a quick follow-up from Co, who says, great, thank you. And William also says, that's great, thank you. So it looks like we're really banging them out today. Lots of questions. Really appreciate all the comments today, guys. It's great to see everyone engaging with the content, and it's great to be able to answer your questions. Do you have any final things to get to before we wrap it up for the day?
No, just the usual. When is the next one?
Absolutely. I'll bring that up. So our next live stream will be in October on the 23rd. And I probably won't be on that one because I have some leave scheduled. And
You're not going to say why?
Yes, I can tell why. So my wife is 39 weeks pregnant right now, and we're expecting the baby, well, soon, let's just say. We don't want to put a date on it, but fairly soon. So
well,
we
she's
may
not going
have
to go another 4 weeks then, is she?
No, certainly not. But, you know, if she had the baby tomorrow, I might be back to work by the 23rd. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so
But
I'll be back in a month, either with Sam or with one of our developers, Amir, who we have as a backup. So you'll have to be very nice to Amir in the comments because he hasn't done it before.
He's a great guy. He's really funny. I always love meeting up with him on our events when we can get that chance. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again for all your comments, and we'll definitely see you in the next one or the next one.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.